Hey everyone, before we dive in, if you love emotional, real-life stories like this one, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. I always figured that walking across the graduation stage would finally even things out between my sister and me. Same ceremony, same cap and gown, same cheers from the crowd, but only one of us got there without drowning in student loans and endless late-night jobs. Mom and Dad covered every penny of Sophia's college bills, plus all the extras she ever wanted. Me, I just got the same tired line they've been feeding me since I was little. You've always been the tough one, Mia. I bought it for years until the day they showed up beaming at graduation, then watched every drop of color drain from their faces when they finally saw what I'd done all by myself. My name is Mia Reynolds, and for most of my life, people have confused keeping quiet with being unbreakable. I grew up in a little house in Oregon where the walls were thick with expectations, but pretty thin on hugs. Love in our family, at least the kind my sister got, came easy, overflowing, and impossible to miss. Sophia was the shiny one, the favorite they loved showing off. I was the shadow, the kid who learned to disappear against doorways and tuck every disappointment into a place no one would hear it. Some of my earliest memories still feel heavy. Like the Christmas Sophia opened a giant dollhouse with real twinkling lights while I got a plain notebook and a pack of pens. Mom patted my head and said, "You're the creative type, honey." I smiled like I loved it. That night I hugged the notebook to my chest, not because it was special, but because it was all I had to hold. Or the time Sophia barely scraped her knee on the backyard slide, and Mom came running out like it was a 5-alarm fire, then told the whole neighborhood about it for weeks. A few days later, I fell out of the old apple tree, hit the ground so hard everything went fuzzy, and Dad just glanced out the window and said, "Mia's tough. She'll shake it off." That one offhand sentence became the soundtrack of my whole childhood. You're tough. You'll be okay. You don't need what everyone else needs. The only person who never treated me like I was made of steel was my grandma, Evelyn. She lived way out in Montana and only came to visit a couple times a year. But every trip felt like stepping into sunlight. Once, when Sophia was showing off a sparkly new bracelet, Grandma pressed a little wooden hair clip into my palm. My name carved on the back. "It's not fancy," she whispered, "but there's only one of them, just like there's only one of you." I wore it whenever I started feeling invisible, like proof that at least one person on earth really saw me. School didn't level the playing field. I worked my tail off, pulled straight A's, won writing contests. Sophia doodled flowers, and they went straight to the fridge. I brought home a big regional writing award, and Mom didn't even look up from the stove. But when Sophia pulled a B+ in history, suddenly the neighbors were invited over for cake. I got really good at swallowing pride without making a sound. By the time college rolled around, the rules were already carved in stone. Sophia got full tuition paid, a brand new laptop, spending money every month, and an apartment she never had to scrub. I moved into a moldy basement dorm and juggled 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. Every time I called home wiped out, Mom would sigh the same lullaby of guilt. "You've always been the strong one, Mia." It was supposed to be a compliment. Really, it just reminded me no one ever planned to catch me if I fell. Still, some tiny part of me kept hoping graduation would finally make them see me. College didn't break me, but it changed me in ways I never said out loud. While Sophia sailed through those 4 years, new clothes, weekend trips, endless brunch pics, I learned exactly what survival costs. I was up before dawn cleaning classrooms, tutoring high schoolers in the afternoons, closing the library at midnight. I kept a little notebook where I added up every dollar. How many hours of work bought gas or a week of groceries? Sophia never once asked how I was holding up. She'd wave across campus, always in the middle of a laughing crowd, like the universe rearranged itself to keep her comfortable. Whenever she complained about a test, Mom would coo. "Don't stress yourself out, baby." When I mentioned working 3 jobs, I got the same soft, brushed-off line, "You're the strong one, Mia. You'll be fine." In her mind, strength meant I wasn't allowed to need anything. I remember one afternoon junior year. I just finished a 4-hour library shift when I saw my parents' car parked outside the student union. For one heartbeat, I actually got excited. Maybe they came for me. Maybe they finally wanted to know how I was really doing. Then I stepped outside and saw Sophia spinning in their arms, showing off a new bag they'd surprised her with just because. They barely noticed me standing there with sweat cooling on my neck. Dad gave a half wave. Mom said, "Oh, honey, there you are. You look exhausted. Sophia needs help picking classes. Can you give her some tips?" Like the only thing I had to offer was advice born from scraping by. Those moments piled up. Tiny cuts that never quite killed you, but made every breath sting a little. Senior year, I stopped waiting for them to ask about my life. When I got accepted into an elite accounting seminar, I celebrated alone with a discount muffin. When a professor pulled me aside to rave about my work, I just smiled, got on my rusty bike, and rode home. Graduation started feeling like both a finish line and a funeral, the end of being invisible, but also proof nothing I did would ever change how they saw me. Sophia, meanwhile, wouldn't stop talking about her professional graduation photos. Mom already had her dress chosen. Dad kept joking about bawling when his graduate walked the stage. I wasn't mentioned once. Deep down, a quiet truth settled in. If they hadn't seen me by now, they never really would. The week before the ceremony should have felt like victory. For me, it just felt empty. I'd spent 4 years stitching myself together with coffee, grit, and silence. Yet somehow, standing on the edge of that milestone, I felt more invisible than ever. While Sophia obsessed over hair and photo angles, I picked up extra shifts to pay off the last of my bills. My parents never asked if I needed money for a cap and gown, a ride, or even dinner afterward. One night after tutoring, I stepped into the cool air and saw a text from Mom. "Hey, sweetie, we're taking Sophia to a graduation brunch after the ceremony. Come if you can make it. If I can make it." Like I was an optional guest at my own milestone. I didn't answer right away. I walked back to my dorm under flickering hallway lights, sat on my bed, and pulled out the wooden hair clip Grandma gave me years ago. I hadn't worn it in forever. It hurt too much. But that night, I held it differently. Not as proof I'd been forgotten, but as proof someone once saw the real me. The next morning something clicked. Not rage, just crystal clear calm. I opened an email I'd been saving. Confirmation that I'd be receiving the department's top award at commencement. It wasn't glamorous, but it was mine, earned with zero help or handouts. I never told my parents, partly because they never asked, partly because I didn't want their indifference anywhere near something I'd fought so hard for. As the big day got closer, a strange peace settled in my chest. For the first time, I wasn't hoping they'd notice. I wasn't rehearsing speeches or picturing hugs that would never come. I ironed my gown alone, made a pot of cheap coffee, and looked in the mirror. I didn't see the overlooked kid anymore. I saw a woman who'd survived everything life threw at her. Graduation wouldn't erase the past, but it would be the day I stopped carrying it. And without realizing it, my parents were about to get the shock of their lives. The morning of commencement, the campus was drenched in golden sunlight. Gowns everywhere, honor cords, excited screams, a million photos. I walked alone toward the ceremony field, letting the chaos bounce off me. My second-hand gown hung a little loose, but it felt honest, earned the hard way. I took my seat under an arch of blooming flowers. Then I heard my name shouted over the crowd. Mom was waving like I was the one who'd been missing. Sophia stood between them looking flawless in a new white dress under her gown, radiating the easy confidence of someone who'd never had to worry about rent. Mom rushed over first. "Sweetie, you should have told us where you were sitting." Sophia grinned. "We already did pictures by the fountain. Wait till you see them." Dad beamed. "That's the one I'm framing, my graduate." They never asked if I wanted pictures too. The ceremony started. The dean thanked donors and parents for their unwavering support. I almost laughed out loud. Support had always been optional in my family, handed out by preference, not fairness. When Sophia's name was called, Mom gasped like she'd won the lottery, Dad snapping photos like paparazzi. Sophia floated across the stage, blew them a kiss, and Mom dabbed her eyes, whispering, "That's our girl." Then came the special awards. My pulse kicked up, not nerves, just readiness. The dean's voice rang clear. "Before we continue, we're proud to recognize a student whose outstanding academic record and dedication have earned her this year's Excellence in Accounting Award." Please welcome Mia Reynolds." The applause hit like a wave. People around me cheered. But the loudest sound was the dead silence behind me. I glanced back. My parents sat frozen. Sophia's perfect smile faltered. Mom's hands hung in the air like she'd forgotten what clapping was. Dad's face twisted with something between confusion and panic. All the color gone, exactly like I pictured. I walked to the stage feeling taller than I ever had. The dean handed me the certificate. I didn't look for cameras. I looked straight at my family, and for the first time ever, they looked small. Afterward, while everyone else rushed to their families for hugs and photos, I hung back. They approached slowly, like they weren't sure they were welcome. Mom spoke first, voice shaky. "Mia, why didn't you tell us?" I met her eyes calmly. "You never asked." Simple. True. It landed like a stone dropped in still water, sending ripples through every year they'd ignored me. Every time they called me strong instead of daughter. Dad cleared his throat. We didn't realize you were accomplishing all this. You always seemed okay." "I had to seem okay," I said quietly. "You only worry about the ones who look breakable." Mom flinched. Sophia stepped closer, eyes glassy. "I didn't know Mia. I really didn't. I believed her more than I believed our parents. When the world is custom built for you, you don't stop to wonder who paid for the materials." Before anyone else could speak, a sharp-dressed woman approached me. "Mia Reynolds? I'm Vanessa Carr. Professor Allen shared your seminar project with our firm. Any chance you're open to talking about opportunities in New York?" My heart didn't skip from shock. It soared because the door I built myself was finally swinging open. I shook her hand firmly. "Absolutely, I'm interested." Vanessa smiled and walked away, leaving the four of us in heavy silence. Dad tried to rally. "New York? That's huge. We can help you figure." I cut him off, gently but firmly. "I've been figuring things out on my own for years." Mom reached for me, voice cracking. "We are proud of you, honey." "Of course we are." I stepped back. Pride isn't something you announce when it suddenly fits the story. Sophia looked small. Are we okay?" she whispered. I took a slow breath. "We will be. Just not today. Today is mine." I turned and walked away. Sunlight caught the wooden hair clip I'd pinned in my hair that morning. Warm, steady mine. I didn't look back, but I knew they were still standing there, stunned, face to face with the world they created. Their silence didn't hurt anymore. It just proved what I'd always known but never let myself believe. Strong was never a compliment. It was the excuse they used to look the other way. But now it was my superpower. I didn't leave campus right away. I found a quiet bench where the crowds thinned out, phone buzzing with congrats from classmates and professors. Not one text from my parents. And for the first time, that was okay. There was nothing left in me waiting for their approval. That night Sophia texted, "I'm sorry. I never saw it from your side. I want to understand." I stared at the screen a long time before typing back, "Take your time." I did. 2 days later, Vanessa sent a formal interview invite for New York. I read it 3 times, not because I doubted it, but because it felt so perfectly right. When I packed my dorm, everything fit into one suitcase. No safety net, no trust fund, just me and the life I'd built from scratch. A week later, I stepped off the train in New York City, a place that didn't know my history or the weight I used to carry. That anonymity felt like pure freedom. Resume in hand, wooden hair clip in my hair, every step forward was mine alone. Being the strong one was never praise. It was the reason they left me behind. Now it's the reason I get to soar. If this story hit home for you, drop your thoughts in the comments and please subscribe for more real, raw life stories just like this one. See you in the next video.